Hello students, welcome to English lecture. Today we shall be starting 10th standard English 2.4 The Pulley. It is a poem. So let's begin about the poet. It is written by George Herbert and the name of the poem is The Pulley. 1596 1633 was a Welsh poet and he was a priest by profession. He wrote religious poems with a lot of imagery and concepts. The poem exhibits a string but two-way relationship between God and his worshippers. Though he has showered and bestowed his worshipper with all his blessings, somehow he holds them up with a pulley drawn to be grateful to him in all our endeavor. God gives so many precious gifts to the devotee, but at the same time God also expects something in return. What does he expects? Why does he withhold? The pulley shows how God lifts man towards himself with the pulley of restlessness. What is distinctly metaphysical about the poem is that a religious notion is conveyed through a secular scientific image. So let's see the poem. When God at first made man, having a glass of blessings standing by, let's, said he, pour on him all we can. Let the words reaches which disperse lie contract into a span. So strength first made a way, then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor, pleasure. Then, when almost all was out, God made us stay, perceiving that alone of all his treasures rest in the bottom lay. For if I should, said he, bestow this jewel also on my creature, he would adore my gifts instead of me and rest in nature, not the God of nature, so both should losers be. Yet let him keep the rest, but keep them with repining restlessness. Let him be rich and weary, that at last, if goodness lead him not yet, weariness may toss him to my breast. George Herbert. So, by going through about the poet George Herbert, we may know that he was a priest by profession and he was Welsh poet and he wrote this religious poem with lot of imagery and concepts. The poem exhibits a string but two-way relationship between God and his worshippers. So in this poem he tried to show what is the relationship between God and his devotees. So though he has bestowed his worshippers with all his blessings, somewhere he holds them up with a pulley drawn to be grateful to him in all our endeavor. So through this line he wanted to say that a pulley is the thing. There is some emotion which is devotee should have for God. With that he can pull to the devotees, because God if offer all the things, obviously he will lose his devotee. So here God gives so many precious gifts to the devotee, but at the same time God also expects something in return. What does he expect? Why does he withhold? And here in this lesson, the pulley shows how God lifts man toward himself with the pulley of restlessness. So here in this line, poet says, through the pulley there stood someone between God and devotees, that is puli. Puli means what? He is saying restlessness. That means what? He offered all the things to devotees, but he kept restlessness with him. And for that, devotees obviously attract towards God. What is distinctly metaphysical about the poem is that a religious notion is conveyed through a secular scientific image. So let's see the explanation of poem. Here the poem, the pulley is based on the idea that God pulls human towards himself with the pulley of restlessness, and the poem exhibits a strange but two-way relationship between God and his worshippers. Though he showers his worshippers with all his blessings, somewhere he also expects something in the return. The soul of the poem is the uniqueness with which a religious notion is explored through a secular scientific image of a pulley. The poem begins with the process of creation, where God instructs his advisors to grant man different blessings and boons. God wished all the wealth of the world and all the good qualities be present in the human beings. So the blessings of strength, beauty, wisdom, honor, pleasures, and many more were showered upon man. However, man, the jar was almost empty. God suddenly stopped. He realized that out of his treasures of all the boons and blessings, only rest, that is called contentment, was left at the bottom of the jar. God thought that if he granted human beings with the blessings of rest, contentment, they would love the gifts that he has given them more than they would love him. So God feared that giving humans and the quality of being content and happy with their achievements and wealth would make them forget about him. So man would be comfortable in his life and would forget his creator. This is why, or this is the way, man would lose his connection with God and God would lose his power over man. So at the end, God decided that he would let man have everything else except rest, contentment, and he decided to deprive man of satisfaction and peace of mind. Though man had all the materialistic treasures, he was also burdened with feelings of discontentment and fatigue. Discontentment that came from what he did not possess, and fatigue from handling his materialistic possessions. Thus, not because of his godness or because of his goodness, but for seeking satisfaction and solace, man would always return to God and pray to him for comfort. So, here, students, through this lesson, it is a beautiful poem, and through this poem, God, poet, gives us the message of God, the feelings of God. He shares somewhere the feelings, the emotion of God. पोएट कहता है कि भगवान ने हमें सब कुछ दे दिया, और अगर सब कुछ इंसान को मिल जाए, सो देयर वुड नॉट बी बाउंडिंग. तो एक भक्त और एक भगवान के बीच में कोई भी रिलेशन नहीं रहेगा. मतलब कुछ स्वार्थ रखना चाहिए. दैट मीन्स व्हाट, भगवान सोचते हैं कि अगर मैंने सब कुछ इंसान को दे दिया, सोलैस दे दिया, मोक्ष दे दिया, सब कुछ, डिग्निटी, ऑनर, पोजीशन, सब कुछ दे दिया, तो मेरे पास कोई क्यों आएगा. सो उन्होंने जब अपना भंडार देने का जो क्वालिटीज़ थी उसमें से सब कुछ निकालने लगे, तो उसमें एक छोटा सा चीज़ उन्होंने रख लिया, दैट इज़ कॉल्ड रेस्ट। कि इंसान को कभी भी शांति नहीं रहेगी, वो हमेशा बेचैन रहेगा। ही वुड नेवर बी कंटेंट और सेटिस्फाई। और आज सच में कोई भी इंसान अगर उसको पूछे तो कोई ना कोई तकलीफ़ ज़रूर है, वो सेटिस्फाई नहीं है। सो यहाँ पर poet gives us beautiful message that we should never forget God. तो गॉड ने यहाँ पर क्रिएचर जो जिसको उसने रचा है, इस दुनिया को जो जिसको बनाया है, उसमें अपना धाक जमाने के लिए अपना एक एक अपना पोजीशन बनाने के लिए उसने एक रेस्ट नाम की जो क्वालिटी है वो अपने पास रख लिया। सो यहाँ पर पोएट ब्यूटीफुली डिस्क्राइब करता है कि सबको स्वार्थ है, सबको कुछ ना कुछ चाहिए, तो गॉड को भी तो कुछ चाहिए। अगर वो सब कुछ दे देगा तो इंसान उसको पूजा नहीं करेगा, इंसान उसको ऑनर नहीं करेगा। इसलिए उसने क्या किया, अपने पास ये जो है डिससेटिस्फैक्शन या रेस्ट ये जो चीज़ है रख लिया, जिसके वजह से इंसान हर वक्त रेस्टलेसनेस रहता है, कंटेंटमेंट नहीं है, डिसकंटेंटमेंट रहता है, अनसेटिस्फाई रहता है। तो यहाँ पर सेटिस्फैक्शन के लिए भक्त को क्या करना चाहिए, हर वक्त उनको रिमेंबर करना चाहिए, जो भी दिया उसके लिए थैंक्स बोलना चाहिए। एंड गॉड लास्ट में बोलता है, मैं टॉस हिम टू माई ब्रेस्ट। और अगर उनको लगेगा कि नहीं, इसको सब कुछ मिलना चाहिए, इसको सोलैस, इसको मोक्ष की प्राप्ति होनी चाहिए, सो ऑब्वियसली वन डे ही विल प्रोवाइड इट। सो लेट्स सी the poetic device of this poem. Students, the rhyme scheme used in the first three stanzas of the poem is AB, ABA, while that of the fourth stanza is ABCBA. And now let's see the figure of speech used in this poem. So first line indicate here when God at first made man. So we can easily recognize the figure of speech, mm sound has been repeated. So this is what alliteration. This is what alliteration. And next, having a glass of blessings standing by, we can see here in this line, second line. So here it is metaphor, because the blessings are directly compared to the liquid kept in the glass that can be poured out. So second line here, that is metaphor. Alliteration as well, as because B sound has been repeated for poetic effect. Now we have second stanza, figures of speech. So strength first made a way, and then beauty flowed, then wisdom, honor and pleasures. So all inanimate, the qualities of strength, beauty, wisdom, honor and pleasures have been given the animate quality of movement to give a vivid image of the process of creation. So this line indicates which figures of speech? That is personification. Now let's see climax. It is also having climax, because the idea beauty, wisdom, honor and pleasure are arranged in an increasing order of importance. So this figures of speech is also having climax. Alliteration as well, the sound of the letter S is repeated for poetic effect. S, we can see S here, strength made and pleasures. Okay, strength, so strength here, SS sound has been repeated, so this is alliteration. Next, below that, when almost all was out. Okay, So here, when almost all was out, God made a stay. Alliteration, because sound A is been repeated for poetic effect. Rest in the bottom lay. Here it is personification, because rest and inanimate attribute of rest is given the human quality for laying to create a vivid image of the process of creation. So this is personification. Yes, it is having pun, because the word rest has two meanings. It means remaining, और rest मतलब रहना, बच जाता है, remaining, as well as rest means gift of rest. So this is pun. Tautology as well, because the word rest and lay mean the same thing. Here lay and rest, okay, mean the same thing. So this is also tautology. Bestow this jeweler also on my creature. This line, okay, which figure of speech is this? Metaphor. The gift of rest is directly compared to something precious such as jewel. ठीक है? So bestow is compared here with jewel. So this is metaphor. He would adore my gift instead of me. Next to this line. So here this line indicates metaphor. No, it is alliteration. The sound of the letter M is being repeated. Okay. Here, bestow the jeweler also on my creature. This is metaphor. And he would adore my gift. He would adore my, this line. Okay, and this line, alliteration, the sound of the letter M is repeated for poetic effect. My, here M, and here me. So this is alliteration. Now we have another line, that is let him be rich and weary. Here the last line, last stanza, let him be rich and weary, that at last. So this is antithesis, because the two contrasting ideas, rich meaning comfort and weariness meaning tiredness, are placed in the same line to indicate the irony of the situation. So this is antithesis. So I think it's all about the poem. One more line is there. If goodness, here the last line, if goodness here, if goodness lead him not, yet weariness. So this is antithesis again, as well as personification, because an inanimate object goodness has been given the human quality of leading. So I think it's all about the poem. I hope you understood this poem. Thank you so much.